Is this working? Yes, there we go. Oh my word. Good start, guys. Yeah, sorry, guys. Yeah, not only are we late, apparently my both camera and microphone were not working. But there we go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Game Week 5 deadline stream for this week. Apologies for that slightly rough start, but we are here. I can't lie, guys. I haven't been awake too long, which is why I probably look a little bit rough. I'm not hungover or anything, which is a nice change, I suppose, on a Saturday morning. But yeah, I was up pretty late last night playing FC 26. You know, when a new video game comes out, I gotta play it, man. I gotta play it, man. So I was up late playing the new FIFA. But I had a good time. And I'm feeling relaxed and ready to go ahead of the new deadline, ready to watch a little bit of football. Let's get cracking, guys, because we only have, well, under an hour till deadline. So let's get crack-a-lacking. This is my team, how I'm lining up currently, although, to be honest, I think I'm going to switch in. So that actually, this is what I was meant to do. Let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. Right, so yes, this is how I am set up now for this game week. So I've made a couple of minor tweaks to the lineup. Nothing crazy, but yesterday I did have Sanchez starting over Dubravka, and I had Estev playing over Pedro Porro, but I've decided to switch it around instead this week. I don't know if that's going to be a good idea or a bad idea, but what I think I want to do is ensure that I can really celebrate a Bruno Fernandes goal or assist if one comes my way, and just trying to maximize a little bit my points potential, or at least a little bit more. And you know, giving myself that ability to, you know, cheer on Bruno. I don't have any Nottingham Forest attackers, so I'm happy to play a Burnley defender. I think Dewsbury Hall is going to stay on my bench. Just the low goal odds for Everton really putting me off. I'll share with you the latest odds and stuff from Rob T, because that has impacted my decision making a little bit, and kind of encouraged me a little bit more to, here we go, to maybe switch things up just a tiny bit. So yeah, Everton still have the lowest goal scoring odds for this week, just one projected goal, which is pretty low. So, you know, if we're expecting Everton to score just one goal, to suggest it's going to come through Dewsbury Hall is maybe a little ambitious. I think Njai, Grealish, Beto more likely to be involved. So the fourth best attacking option in the lowest projected goal game seems like a bench to me. He could still get something, don't get me wrong. There's always a chance. He is still the fourth best attacking option at Everton, but it is something to consider there. We've got a super chat already from Jack. Says Palmer or Pedro better captain? What about Ekatike? If I had Palmer, I would captain him. And say it quietly, I think Ekatike is going to be starting today. I think. I'm pretty sure, actually, to be honest. So you could go for Ekatike potentially there. I don't mind Ekatike as a captain, but if you have Cole Palmer, I think I would maybe go there. Genuinely, it looks like the second highest kind of game for goals is going to be Manchester United versus Chelsea. So having a Manchester United or Chelsea attacker could bring some rewards there. Both teams, by the way, have low clean sheet odds for this week, as you can see. 21% for Man United, 20% for Chelsea, so pretty low. We're expecting goals in that game. Could even be the most goals, potentially. I mean, it's close. Is it close? It might even be above. Yeah, it is. Okay, so that game looks like that's going to be the highest scoring game of this game week, based on projections, of course. We see Arsenal with pretty decent goal scoring projections there as well. 1.67. I wonder if that's a little bit generous, but hey, we'll take it as an Arsenal fan, won't we? So that's where we are at right now with all of those things. I think today the bench list is going to be really important. Really important. I think a lot of people mostly worried about bench decisions, but we'll try and answer some other questions, of course, as well. But yeah, those just an update. That is what the odds are saying. And that there is my team. Eunice Braga with the super chat says, what do you think about Watkins' captaincy? I think it's very difficult to justify Watkins' captains considering Aston Villa have been so poor in attack. Watkins, in his defence, hasn't been as bad as maybe Rodgers, for example. Watkins is getting chances to score, confirmed penalty taker. It's there is a few positives. I think Sunderland away is this is maybe the easiest fixture yet for Aston Villa. This is a favourable fixture, but I wouldn't say it's an easy fixture, particularly given Aston Villa's form. However, I think just a goal from Aston Villa at this point would probably be considered a success, wouldn't it? If Aston Villa lose 2-1, which is very, very possible, that goal is like gold dust. Really, really. Will Frimpong start? In my opinion, no. In my opinion, he will not start. I think it's going to be Connor Bradley at right back now he's available, which could which would maybe drop a player out of the starting 11. So Szoboszlai's been playing there, so who's going to drop out? Is it going to be McAllister, Gravenberch, Verts, Gakpo, maybe? Or is it just going to be Szoboszlai? Doesn't play. I'm not sure. But I'm not confident about Frimpong. I'll tell you that one. I think, more likely to be Bradley today. But again, we'll have to wait and see. There's chance for some team leaks and stuff like that. I think Bradley right back would be my prediction for this game week. We'll have to see. Right. Few transfer related questions before we have a look at the bench related questions. Let's see what we got here. Aiden says, who is the best goalkeeper pick? I would go for Raya. If you're looking for long term, I'd go for Raya. I know the clean sheet odds are pretty bad across the board this week, but Arsenal at 32% is one of the better ones that we do have, and he's a really nice long term goalkeeper hold. Silan says, can I wildcard? Of course you can. I don't know what your team looks like, but for most people, waiting one more week might be a little better. Amir says, happy birthday to my wife, Rima. Happy birthday, Rima. Interestingly, Amir, your wife has all of the same letters in her name as you do, in a reverse order. Rima and Amir. Wow. Am I being trolled, or is that just a crazy coincidence? Simon says bench 2, Paqueta, Grealish, Richards. I would really struggle to bench Richards. So I guess that means Paqueta and Grealish. Not sure. What about goalkeeper for this week? Goalkeeper for this week, you're maybe, I don't know, just for this week alone. I don't know, Alisson, Martinez, Leno, just someone with a good clean sheet odds, I suppose. It's going to be someone like that. Captain Gakpo or Semenyo? I think I'd rather go Semenyo, given the form that he's been in. Is Murillo a keep or sell? I'm going to keep Murillo. I'm going to start him and see what happens. He's still in contention to start, but it's not super likely. I do actually have injury updates that I need to throw on screen for you guys. Let's throw them on the ticker, so you guys have that as your reference point for injuries. There you go. Are Lefay and De Kuiper available? So Lefay is available. I don't know if he's going to start or not, but he is available. De Kuiper his injury is not as bad as maybe we thought it was, but it's unlikely he's going to start. I think it's going to be Kadioglu starting at left back for Brighton against Spurs this weekend. So De Kuiper technically maybe could be available, but I don't. But seems very unlikely he's going to start, unfortunately. Van der Ven or Juve? I think I'd play Juve over Van der Ven. Vicario or Dubravka? I played Dubravka over Vicario this week, I think. Brighton, when Brighton play at home, you fancy them for a goal in any given game. I'm a little concerned about Pedro Porro, to be honest, and starting him, but I think I just want to cover the fact that a lot of people will have Spurs defenders this week. Hey mate, Porro or Richards or Konsa start two. You know what? I like all of those players for a bench list, so let's throw them. Let's kick things off with that. So who were they? They were Konsa, who are actually, I'll put Richards above Konsa, and we'll put Pedro Porro here. Mostly defenders, I think people are struggling with for who to play, who to bench, but I'm gonna let's put Lacroix in, and obviously Munoz is going to go in as well, maybe above. I would bench Dewsbury Hall. I think Murillo, I would take a punt on, even though he might not start. I mean, I feel like he's either going to be available or not. He's not the kind of guy who's going to get subbed in. So I'd be happy to do that. Right, Juve. I'm going to put Juve in here, I think. A lot of it's going to come down to structure as well and risk management. How much for you to put a Bruno G shirt behind you? What, for how long? Forever. I've got my lovely new Ezra shirt behind me at the moment. I mean, to be fair, you have to buy me the shirt to begin with. If you buy me the shirt, I'm happy to leave it up there for a week or two, and then I'll give it away to someone. But I'm not going to go out and buy a Bruno G shirt. But yeah, if you want to buy me one, sure. I'll put it up and then give it away after to a Newcastle fan, hopefully. Kong says, should I play Richarlison? I think so. Yeah, I think you can take a punt there. It's definitely no guarantee of minutes. He was obviously benched last game week, but maybe that was something to do with the international break, coming back from Brazil from international duty. So you do wonder if that was, a part of it, of why he was benched last week. Yeah, I would maybe give him a go this week, but just be aware that there is some risk, well, a lot of risk actually, attached to Richarlison right now. Ibrahim says, who to captain, Haaland or Semenyo or Watkins or Wood? Good question. I think maybe on form you back Haaland above Semenyo. I don't think I'd captain Watkins or Wood. Watkins, bad form. I just don't think we can trust him as far as captaincy yet. You want to see a little bit of positivity first, or at least a goal, or I'd take an assist at this point. Chris Wood, some concerns around minutes with Wood. So I don't know if I captain him, but I would certainly play him. I certainly start him. Then it's just Haaland versus Semenyo, battle of the players with poor fixtures and great form. Can the fixtures win out on the form? There we go. Let's throw a poll in the chat. We'll do a captain poll. Okay, who is your game week 5 captain? Who should be in here? Salah, of course. Second choice, maybe. We'll maybe put Haaland and Semenyo in there as well. Because those are going to be the top 3, right? Salah, Haaland, Semenyo. Don't really know who else. I mean, if you have like Palmer, then maybe you go there. Joao Pedro? Maybe. Not entirely sure. We'll do Salah, Haaland, Semenyo, and if other is very high, we can probably assume Chelsea players in there. I think. Yeah, people saying Watkins as well. Like, fair enough. If you're brave enough to captain Watkins right now, go for it. Honestly, go for it. I think I'm not brave enough. I mean, people are telling me I need to sell Watkins. So Serendipity says, hi Dan, to start Nico Williams or Grealish. I would start Nico Williams. I think. I know it's painful to bench Grealish, but I think I would start Nico. Let's throw Nico Williams on screen as well. I'm going to put him maybe here. And I'm gonna put Grealish here. I might slip and Jai above him though, just in case you guys have him. To Kuiper and Esteve for the bench ranking, please. Okay, so I'm gonna put to Kuiper at the bottom because I really think it is very doubtful that he starts. Very doubtful. Do you think Consa will hit the DEFCON? I think Consa will be lucky to hit the DEFCON once this entire season. I've been saying that since before the season started, though. So my opinion has not changed on that. Consa is just not a DEFCON man at all. Like, you know, you've got just as much chance of Mo Salah getting DEFCON. Nick Kyle says, hi, Dan, 76 points in Gameweek 4. No changes made. Captain Salah or Semenyo. Latter is a spicy option. Gameweek 6 might sell Salah for funds to get Haaland. I think that will be popular. I think that'll be very popular. Moving Salah to Haaland next week. I think a lot of people will take hits as well. But hopefully a lot of people also have saved transfers to do that. Captain Salah or Semenyo. For me, it's Salah. And it's a pretty much a no-brainer for me. Yeah. I considered some Chelsea players. And I probably probably personally, I would prefer to go for some Chelsea players over Haaland and Semenyo, but maybe that's just because I don't have Haaland and Semenyo, possibly. But yeah, out of those players, I like Salah the most. Out of Salah and Semenyo. Meals Beast says, "Good day, Dan. 8.6 to spend on a mid. Already have Semenyo and Jai, Salah, Reinders. Who should I get? Gakpo. I think Gakpo becomes risky soon. So 8.6. I would maybe go Xavi Simons, to be fair. I think that's where my brain is taking me. It's taking me to Simons. You already have Njai, so you're not going to get Grealish. Maybe is it worth taking a punt on Foden? Maybe, but not this week. And I think Gakpo is maybe not quite the one I go for. I think there's going to be some risk there very soon. And Burmo is also an interesting option as well if you fancy going for Burmo. His numbers have been really good this season so far. Really good. Paradise says Reinders versus Dupe. Reinders versus Dupe. Who to start? Let's say. I think Reinders is fine. I mean, maybe slip him above Grealish here, so that would also put him above Juve. JP versus Salah, I would go for Salah. Dubravka versus Sells. Okay, so I think it's very clear to play Sells above Dubravka. That's not much of a doubt for me. And for the dessert, the Saar dilemma. Well, I'm just keeping him and probably wildcarding or free hitting next week. He should be back by Game Week 7 anyway. So that's what I'm doing. N Jenkins Livasi UK. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's a lot of letters. Says Gabriel, Porro, Van der Ven, Esteve, bench which two? I would bench Van der Ven and Esteve, I think. But I'm not 100% sure. Murillo news. He hasn't trained this week, unfortunately. But he's still in he's still in contention to start, but it's not super likely. So I think if you do have him, he's maybe worth putting in your starting 11. But like, I don't know. You wouldn't put him. You wouldn't put him as a super. If you have a strong squad, you know you're going to be fine to bench him. Start Brennan Johnson or Chalobah. Probably Chalobah. Not convinced by Johnson's minutes at the moment. I think a lot of the questions you guys are having with regards to who to bench, who to start. A lot of them are on the bench list already. Goodmanson, Rodon is interesting. Yeah, against Wolves, that's not bad, is it? You can do a lot worse. 32% clean sheet chance for Leeds is higher than a lot of the other teams we've spoken about. Do we need to actually consider them quite high here? Okay, let's throw uh Goodman's. I'll put Rodon there as well. We'll put them there. I think they've got to be in contention if you do have them in your squad. Can you explain why Njai is so high on the bench list? He's a penalty taker, and that always helps a lot. You know, in a game where random moments of luck can often define game weeks. And I think this game week in particular is going to be a week where, in order to score significant FPL points, you are going to depend on luck. Because unfortunately, the total goal projections for this week are, super, super low. And super chat here from Eunice says, if I sell Murillo, who's the best replacement option? Probably someone like Lacroix or Richards, maybe Senesi. Lacroix, Richards, Senesi would be the three players I'd be looking at most closely for a defender this week. Unless you can somehow afford to go for like Gabriel at Arsenal, who is also maybe a consideration for a long-term hold. So I guess those four players would be who I'd be looking at most closely this week. Romero, Romero's similar to Van der Ven, maybe slightly above. Personally, I think the Palace era is coming to an end. I'm not seeing too much to suggest that. I know they have been struggling a little bit for goals recently, but when Mateta can finally get a little bit of a rest somewhere, Sarr is back, Jeremy adapts a little bit more to the Premier League. Their defense is untouched, which has probably been one of their strongest points. I think they'll be fine. There's not really been too many signs that they're kind of out of it. Still been very defensively solid. Can you put Petrovic on the bench list? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. The question is where. I guess between the two, right? Let's go in betwixt. Ooh. No, we need a C with one of those on him. Why is Reinders above Diouf? Reinders is a very good football player. I think he'll start against Arsenal, which is always some consideration with those Man City players. And West Ham have been pretty poor defensively. So I think, you've got a chance of an attacking return. I think if you're going to get an attacking return from a Man City player this week, it's going to be Haaland or Reinders, presumably. I guess you could throw Foden in there as well. FPL Victoria's Secret says, please rate my wildcard 6. Raya, Dubravka, Gabriel, Richards, Senesi, Anderson, Goodmanson, Palmer, Semenyo, Xavi, Reinders, Dewsbury Hall, Haaland, Joao Pedro, Gyökeres. Love it. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I would do this week if I was wildcarding. I don't think I would really make too many changes to that. It's near enough my dream wildcard team. Maybe I'd make a couple of minor tweaks, but yeah, that's a 10 out of 10. Any tweaks I make to this team are just opinion based. I like it. I like it. Should change goalkeepers list with a captain's list. Maybe actually. Maybe it's not the worst. That's not the worst shout in the world. Maybe we'll think about doing that next week. I don't think this week though. Yeah, I'm happy to just go with Salah. Any chance of getting Chalobah and Diakite on the list, mate? Not really, no. No differentials. No differentials is a rule for the bench list. We just try and put the template players on there. Anderson Forrest, yeah, we can put him on the list for sure. I would be starting him, by the way. Possibly above Njai. It's got to be around this kind of area. I'm going to throw him above Njai. More super chats coming in. Kia Oradan, I'm back. Can Tiago go on the list? You did throw in a super chat. Let's allow it. Let's allow it. By the way, Brentford have really, really low goal scoring odds as well. They're not quite as bad as Everton, but they're not far off. I think Sunderland and Everton are the only teams with worse goal projections this week than Brentford. So pretty worrying there. So in that sense, he has to really go probably below Grealish even. Maybe here. It's not great. It's not great. Mumu says, hey Dan, should I bench Kukurea and play Estev? No, I don't think so. Because you've got a little bit of more attacking threat from Kukurea. I would play Kukurea. I think there maybe are some better options than him, but I would be happy to put Kukurea around here. JR says, how did wildcard and triple captain go out the window? I mean, it was just an idea. It was just an idea. It was never something I wanted to lock in. But I think I'm always keen to wait for one more week of information. I think I am at my limit of waiting for more information before I am finally satisfied. But I want this. Well, I wanted, of course, the midweek games, Champions League, well, all European competition, League Cup. I want this midweek. No, not this week. This weekend. And is there some midweek games next week as well? If so, I want them. If so, I want them before locking in any decisions. But I don't actually know if there is or not. I can't remember now. I need to double check my schedule. Stathis says, good morning, Dan. Editor Simmons or Roll. Also our favourite game. Who scores against United? I mean, honestly, Stathis, I would keep Eze. I would roll that transfer. I mean, if someone's going to create some magic against Man City, why not Eze? I think he's good for a start this game as well. Who scores against Manchester United? You'd have to place your bets on Palmer and Joao Pedro, wouldn't you? It'd have to be one of those guys. You'd have to. By the way, guys, I should tell you in terms of my strategy. So next week, I'm going to be I'm going to wildcard all free hit next game week 6, no matter what. So I did post this on Twitter, but what I'll be doing is I'll be making transfers pretty much immediately, chasing price rises of today, because there will be price rises later today. There's probably already some that look very likely to go in, which I want to get ahead of the game. And then I'll be activating the wildcard / free hit after taking basically a bunch of hits in my team. Just have to make sure I remember to actually play my wildcard or free hit before the Gameweek 6 deadline. So that will all of my transfers will be banked that I've saved up as well. So in Gameweek 7, whether I wildcarded or free hitted in Gameweek 6, I'll still have 3 free transfers in Gameweek 7, which is going to be amazing. Imagine wildcard used or free hit used. So you've gained a load of points there and 3 free transfers in the bank, ready to maybe adapt a little bit later. I think I could probably roll to 4 or 5 transfers, genuinely. If I wildcard, I could like basically do another mini wildcard in game week 8 where we see some more swings, or game week 13. Maybe even both, to be honest. So I think we're going to be in a really good position, and that's why I'm feeling the wildcard game week 6 so much, because I think maybe unlike some other people, I will have so many free transfers to, continue to adjust and adapt in those maybe other wildcard windows. So if I can get my team like ready for game week 6, 90% there for game week 8, 70% there for game week 13, then using the free transfers, it's going to be like very easy to adjust to the template that comes in later down the line as well. Donabate Airport says, sell or keep Ekatike, and if sell, who should I buy? I wouldn't sell him. No, I would keep him. I wouldn't. I'd give it another week. I'd give it another week. Najim says, okay to Captain Watkins. I mean, look, if you're feeling brave, go for it. I'm not massively keen personally. But look, there are worse players to captain this week. Far worse players. Was Eza on the bench list? I'm not going to put him on because he is a differential, but he would be reasonably high. Somewhere around maybe Njai. Alfie says bench boost game week 5, free hit game week 6. If I don't use a transfer, do I have 2 game week 7? Yeah, I mean, if you have one now in game week 5 and you're not using it, and then free hit in game week 6, you'll have 2 in game week 7. And there we go. Tarkovsky on the bench list. It's got to be low, right? It's got to be low. The good thing is that you know he starts the game on 4 points. It's just how many goals will Liverpool score to negate that. As such, he's got to go above the Spurs defenders just for that fact alone. So I'm going to throw him in here. When will you bench boost? I'm going to bench boost in game week 8. And honestly, I don't understand why more people are not talking about a bench boost in game week 8. I think some people have, maybe got in their head that they want to wildcard in game week 8. And therefore, are completely neglecting that, in my opinion, it is probably the best week in the entire first half of the season to bench boost. The fixtures are so well set up for a bench boost. All of the cheapest players have all of the best fixtures in game week 8. Count Seelos says bench boost 19 clears. Completely disagree. Like in game week 19, there's going to be so much rotation and minutes risk and stuff like that because it's going to be around Christmas time and stuff. Yeah, no chance, man. Someone says game week 9 is better. Is it though? How? Hang on. Let's compare the fixtures. Let's compare the fixtures because I think this is interesting. I'd much rather talk about chip strategy than pretty much anything else. Chip strategy is my favorite, man. So game week 9, you have Leeds at home against West Ham. It's not bad. You got Sunderland away against Chelsea. So if you've got Sunderland players on your bench, you're not going to use them. Who else is cheap? You've got maybe cheap Fulham defenders against Newcastle, bad. Cheap Brighton defenders against Man United, bad, and vice versa. Cheap Brentford defenders against Liverpool, bad. Cheap Crystal Palace defenders against, you've got Richards or Lacroix, bad against Arsenal. Aston Villa versus Man City, if you've got Conser on your bench, bad. Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest, in fairness, is great. You've got Senesi, but you're going to start Senesi anyway against Forest. You need your worst defenders to have the best fixtures, and Senesi on that week would not be that. If you've got Agbadou, fine. If you've got Dubravka and Estev away against Wolves, looks good now. When Strand Larsen is back and firing and fully fit, I think Wolves might be a slightly different prospect than they are now. It's okay. Don't get me wrong. This is a good fixture for Burnley away against Wolves, but it's not as good as Burnley at home against Leeds. It's not as good as Sunderland at home against Wolves. Crystal Palace at home to Bournemouth. Bournemouth away against Crystal Palace. These are better fixtures than their game week 9 fixtures. So in so many ways, I really truly do believe that game week 8 just stands out to me as like the obvious bench boost week. There's so many cheap players with good fixtures that it's going to suit so many people. And in fairness, it won't suit everyone. It won't suit literally everyone. And look, I'm never going to say this is the only way to play. It's not the only way to play. It is one of many ways to play. But for how much game week 8 is being neglected as a bench boost option, I think is madness. Because on paper, I think it looks like the best one. For me, Dewsbury Hall plays against Man City. And that's fair. And that is fair. I think that is probably the biggest weakness of Game Week 8's bench boost. It is the biggest weakness, in fact, is that Everton do play Man City that week. So Dewsbury Hall against Everton, which isn't great. I still think Dewsbury Hall is bench boostable against Man City. I mean, people are bench boosting Reinders against Arsenal this week, for heaven's sake. So, I mean, you know, Dewsbury Hall against City is fine. It's not ideal. But then, you know, we could flip it and say, okay, other cheap players, Reinders at home against Everton, Paqueta at home against Brentford. Like, if we're looking at those other kind of cheap midfield slot there, even like Nottingham Forest, you know, if you've got Anderson on your bench, he's playable in any game. Caicedo playable in any game because of their DEFCON potential. What are our super chats here? So just we'll catch up with super chats. I am keen to continue this conversation though, if you guys are. Nahar says Salah, Semenyo, or Joao Pedro for captaincy. I would play it safe on Salah this week. Micron, how you doing, my friend? FPL Victoria's Secret says, thanks, Dan. Would you go Bruno, Cunha, and Burma on a wild card and move to Palmer in game week 8? No, because I want Palmer in game week 6. Also, thoughts on Benchbury 5, Dubravka, Dewsbury Hall, Van der Ven, Goodmanson. I mean, it's not bad. We also have Doonball here say, can you go through why 8 is better than 5 for bench boost? It's not like... There is also an argument, by the way, to say, you know, I want to get my bench boost out the way. I just want to get rid of my bench boost. I'm sick of having it. We have the information now. Anything in the future is at least a little bit speculative. Maybe minutes change. Maybe all sorts of things change. Maybe there's some more injuries. If your bench is fully fit right now, you know the players are nailed on for now, and maybe you're concerned about the future of these players. You know, if you've got Reinders, you're thinking, okay, I think he's going to play this game week, but when we get to game week 8, is he still going to be starting regularly? I'm a little bit worried about that. If that is the case, you're fully fit, you're ready to go, you're happy with the minutes, that's the big thing. And that is a very strong argument to just bench boosting immediately, going for 5. You've waited for your moment. Your moment has come. Everything has fallen into place quite nicely. There is absolutely nothing wrong with bench boosting in that situation. Why 8 is better than 5 is just down to fixtures. Burnley at home to Nottingham Forest is fine, don't get me wrong, but it's not as good as Burnley at home to Leeds. We've got Leeds against Wolves. If you've got Leeds and Wolves players, pretty decent. If you've got Sunderland players on your bench, maybe not so good. You have players like Reinders and Dewsbury Hall, maybe have weaker fixtures. Even Paqueta against Palace, kind of a weaker fixture. So I think for midfielders, it's not as good in game week 5. But game week 5 is, again, one of the best weeks for a bench boost. It really is. And if everything is set up for you nicely here, I've seen a lot of people with really strong benches that look great for game week 5. So it is going to be team dependent. It is no one size fits all. But on paper, I just think game week 8 looks a little nicer. A little nicer, might I add. But there are many arguments for bench boost in 5. Min is dialing, says, what do you think about Igor Thiago penalties versus Evan Nilsson? I don't know if Igor Thiago is going to be on penalties or not, to be honest. Evan Nilsson certainly won't be. I prefer Evan Nilsson to Igor Thiago. We'll put it that way. Even this game week. We'll throw the bench list back on screen because I know I start talking about chips and people get bored. So yeah, play Reinders, Marlin, or Tarkovsky. You play Reinders and Tarkovsky. Yeah, Marlin is just not secure for minutes right now, so it's very difficult to justify playing him. FPL Victoria's Secret says, haha, no argument really. This week he plays Liverpool. Hey, yeah. I don't know which is the better fixture for Dewsbury Hall, 5 or 8, but neither of them are particularly good, are they? So, Hustle says, sub, Dubravka, Kudus, Reinders, Estev, bench boost. See, there you go. There's a perfect example of a really strong bench. I mean, I would not want to bench Kudus, for example. Reinders is okay. Estev, Dubravka are okay. So there's a strong argument to bench boost that for Kudus. But if you have Kudus on your bench this week, that means you're going to have a strong bench every week. So is this bench still going to be really strong in game week 8? And that's the question. I mean, I don't know your full team. And yeah, we don't really have time to do a full analysis and individual chip strategy for everyone on today's stream. But I would have a look and see, what does your squad look like for Game Week 8? And with 1 or 2 transfers, would it look like a really nice bench boost for Game Week 8? And that would maybe be a deciding factor for me there. Ghost Hunter says Ndoye start and masterclass. Hey, why not? I think if you've got Ndoye, you probably got to give him a go, right? You got to give him a go. Reminder, guys, that there is no differentials on going on the bench list. We can put some template type players on here. Estev and Pedro Porro would be reasonably similar. I'm gonna throw in him here though. Oh, I need to get the right E. How do I get that E? There we go. Darn my English keyboard. Can Dango be added to the bench list? No differentials. I'm sorry. Kudus on the bench list. Kudus can go on. I mean, yeah, that other guy who just put in the super chat was benching Kudus. I don't think I would. I would play the. Interestingly, I really fancy the Crystal Palace defenders this week. In fact, I'm actually going to chop Munoz down here. Paqueta, penalty taker always helps. Let's go. Why do you keep making me put in players who have accents on letters? So I have to go into the deeper keyboard, the expansion, full expansion set keyboard. Paqueta over Van der Ven? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I think I would. Maybe, is that generous on Paqueta? I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is generous. I think that's about right. Rogers, maybe here. If you have him, you've probably got to start him. Where would Barnes go? I really don't know what to say about Barnes because I have no idea about his minutes right now. So risky for minutes. Paqueta over Grealish? I think so, yeah. I think Paqueta over Grealish. Can we have Palmer on the bench list, please? No. Play Palmer. Is Semenyo a must play? Yes. Some people are thinking about captaining him. Is Watkins better than Mateta and Wood this week? I would genuinely make an argument to say Watkins is better than Mateta and Wood this week. I think Watkins will have better minutes. I think Wood is maybe not fully suited to the Ange Postecoglou system, and Mateta is, if you want to say that Watkins is in poor form, I think you've got to say the same about Mateta, really. You kind of have to put them in the same boat there. I think Watkins generally is a better player, better pick, or over the long term, maybe has been. Strand Larson to the list. I don't think Strand Larson's starting, to be honest. Anderson, Senesi, and Raya. Okay, sure. So I'd actually think I'd put Raya number 1 on goalkeepers. We'll put Anderson and Senesi in as well, who I've seen suggested a few times now. So Senesi, I think I'd be reasonably happy with Senesi. So we can throw him certainly above, maybe somewhere here. You go, compared to a lot of the defenders, he's pretty good. And then Anderson would be even higher for me, I think. Fulham's strong defence, man. They really are. Should we put him next to this other Anderson so nobody gets confused? I think we should. I think we really, really should. There we go. We'll put the Andersons together. 2 friends. 2 Andersons. Rice on the list, please. No differentials, Damien, I'm afraid. But Rice, where would he go? I mean, again, somewhere in the middle, to be honest, of this bench list. Mr. Super Chat? Oh, I do apologise. Mesho says, Gakpo and Ekatike captain or Anderson and Joao Pedro captain? For this week or for long term? Is this so difficult? I mean, Anderson and Joao Pedro are the best two picks for the long term. Sure. But if you're looking for this week in isolation, there's maybe an argument for Gakpo and Ekatike. I'm going to say Anderson and Joao Pedro. I'm just going to go out and say that. Madmen at Work says, who to play? Cash, Van der Ven, Gay, Gabriel, Tossin. I would play Gay and Gabriel for sure. And then I guess Cash and bench Van der Ven and Tossin. Actually, that was reasonably easy. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Any early Liverpool team news? I mean, I have maybe something that I'm not sure if I trust. Yeah, I have something I cannot confirm or deny. But there is some suggestions. We'll revisit this if this is correct. There are some suggestions, and please, I don't know if this is trustworthy or not. So please do not base your life decisions on this. I don't have the full team. All I have is Ekatike starting and Bradley starting, and I don't know if it's trustworthy or not. So, listen, I received a message. I don't know if it's true or not. That's all I have. I'm very hesitant about this because, you know, when you, particularly if it's, I can't verify whether this is good information or not. When you can't verify something and you put it out there publicly, your neck is on the chopping block. Like if people make FPL decisions based on this and it turns out to be incorrect, people will come for me. You know, and the other content creators have. Thankfully, my team news is I've never really. I think I've only been wrong once with early team news that I've put out there, but I know other people have put out some bad team news occasionally, by complete mistake. You know, just trying to do the right thing and been absolutely slaughtered for it by people. So that's why I'm very hesitant. So I'm not counting that as team news, guys. I'm just letting you know all that I know. It's not a leak. Guy Green says, show team gang, where are you at? Yeah, good point. I don't think anyone cares about content creators' teams at this point of the season. Let's be honest. What do you think about Isaac? Yeah, I would not be touching him. I'll keep an eye out for some more team news. We'll see what happens there. Don't shoot the messenger. Oh, people shoot the messenger, all right. They really do. Toss in. I mean, I guess we can throw in toss in. Let's just put him next to Kukurea. Although he is better than Kukurea. Is he better than Kukurea? I'm not sure if he is. Tosin looks really good for Defcon. He's been getting the best ones. Preda says, Hub suggests me to bench Pedro Porro before Juve. Yeah. I actually agree with that one. Why are Spurs defenders such a no-go? Brighton have had a mediocre start, but they always score. Well, not always, but particularly at home, Brighton are good for a goal. And actually, Spurs, I know they've kept 3 clean sheets, but they've conceded a lot of chances. And I think against some slightly more quality attackers, I think and the bookmakers and, you know, those people who are, you know, data nerds and the professionals who are paid to predict results all have Spurs clean sheet odds very, very low. And also Spurs defenders, they're not really very good for defensive contributions. I know they have got some attacking returns so far, but that is kind of out of the ordinary, I think, from what we've seen so far. Pedro Porro is on the bench list already, no? Yeah, we've got Spurs defenders already on there, pretty low. Bravka and Sanchez are on there already. Cunha on the list. I mean, I guess Cunha's interesting. Is he even going to start? I don't really want to deep injured players too much. Why have you got to put Nico Williams so high? Because he plays Burnley. Sorry, yeah, Burnley. Yeah. As a double check who he's playing for a second there. Yeah, because he plays Burnley. Who's your captain? It's going to be boring Salah this week. Anna Rude says Mateta, Watkins, Gakpo, Haaland, Semenyo, captain who and why. Haaland, because he's been in such incredible form so far this season, and is putting up by far the best data in the Premier League, and he can score against anyone. There you go. There's some good reasons to captain Haaland. I feel like a lot of the bench related questions you guys are asking are already covered in the bench list. The show team gang have arrived. It's good to see. Welcome, show team gang. You guys turn up 5 minutes before deadline and want to see the team. But would appreciate if you supported the channel a little earlier. But hey, it is what it is. So why don't you have Esteve ahead of Dewsbury Hall on the bench, just like your bench list suggests? Because I don't want to double up on the Burnley defense. Is basically the simple answer to that. I'm happy to go a little bit in on the Burnley defense, but I don't want to go all in. I want to kind of hedge my bets a little bit here. And I think, again, like I was saying earlier, team structure comes into it a little bit. If you have Bruno, you want Man United to score, which maybe incentivizes you to bench Sanchez and increase your ceiling, your point ceiling, if that makes sense. Please, Dan Evanilson. What about him? Would I play him? Possibly, depending on the strength of your other players. It's not the best game week for him, but don't really know. I wouldn't buy him this week, certainly. If I roll in then wildcard game week 6, would I get 2 free transfers or stay at 1? You will have 2 free transfers in game week 7. Who do I start? Esteve, Van der Ven, or Calafiori? You start Calafiori, I think. T Salama says start Strand Larson or 2 free transfers on Verts and him to Xavi and Pedro. Yeah, we're very tight here, T Salama. I would make the double switch, but do it quick. I'm actually going to refresh my page to make sure my team is locked in. Do I transfer out Kukurea? Probably not. Would you have Haaland, Palmer, or Gakpo as captain this week? If I had Palmer, I think I would captain him. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's not. Any last minute team leaks? Not that I can see. Yeah. No, it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Tark always scores against Liverpool. Hey, he has done in the past, hasn't he? Wildcarding this week is actually wild, tough fixtures all round. I kind of agree, which is why I'm not doing it. Right. I think I'm locked in with a 4-3-3. I can't believe it. I can't remember the last time I intentionally played a 4-3-3 in FPL, but here we are. Simon says start Frimpong or Grealish. Reinders. I would play Reinders. Oh, Grealish. One of Reinders or Grealish. I don't know which one. Yeah, it's super tight between those two, but not Frimpong. I don't think Frimpong will start. There's a chance, but I'm not confident. And guys, we're like 20 seconds till deadline. So, well, 50. But yeah, we really need to wrap things up with your decisions, guys. Benchless Evan Nilsson. He would have gone somewhere in the middle, I think. Not super high, around the likes of Reinders, Grealish, those kind of players. A lot of defenders I'd play above Evan Nilsson. Enzo or Rogers, I would think I would play Rogers. Juve or Frimpong, I think I'd play Juve. What's the deal with Murillo? Small chance of him starting, hopefully. Benchless Dan is 20 seconds. There's no time to make decisions anymore. Swan's playing 5-2-3. Amazing. Goodmanson or Van der Ven. I would play Goodmanson. But honestly, there are like 10 seconds left until deadline. It is too late. You guys have left it too late to make these decisions. I'm so sorry. Is Ekatike starting? I think he will, but I cannot verify that for another 15 minutes. Benchless Evan Nilsson. Someone in the middle. I already said that like a million times. Ekatike or Joao Pedro. I play Joao Pedro, and deadline has passed, guys. Oh, honestly, sometimes I just think, how do you guys, like, those of you who literally are making these decisions and trying to figure things out 30 seconds before deadline, or even a minute, even 2 minutes, it's like, how is your brain just not like, how's that not happening? Honestly, I think I'd have a breakdown if I was trying to make an FPL decision 30 seconds before deadline. You kind of got to know, right? 5 minutes before. Maybe you still have like some minor decisions to make. I don't know. Potentially. Oh dear. Crazy. But there we go, guys. Deadline's passed. We'll wait for another 15 minutes. Get the team news. Yeah. If you are leaving now, good luck for the game week. Enjoy the football. If you are sticking around for a little bit, then we can chat and hang out for 15 minutes. Los Hobbitos says, time flies, Dan, when you're having fun. Got me off guard as well, but team was already decided. Yeah, maybe I should do like more frequent. Oh, by the way, checking in on the time. We have X amount of minutes before deadline. David says, when you wake up 10 minutes before deadline. Well, to be fair, I woke up about 10 minutes before deadline stream, so... There we go. William says, in Denmark, we can wait until the exact start of the first game. A lot of fantasy games play it that way, don't they? It's interesting. Oops, activated bench boost at 10:55. Wow, crazy, Dan. Crazy. Kater says, what season was the most fun FPL-wise for you? Now, you probably expect me to say the season I finished 243rd in the world. That was an amazing season, don't get me wrong. But it wasn't fun. It was fun at the start, but the pressure was unreal. My favorite season was probably the season after that, where I came back from like 1/1,000,000th in like game week 25 to 30,000th in game week 38. It was an unreal comeback, which I really enjoyed. Dan Ramsey says, thank you, Dan, legend. Thank you, Dan, legend. Right back at you, my friend. Kirby says, Dan, if you were in FPL, you would be my perma captain. Thank you, Kirby Life. That's very kind of you. Yazito says, you're not playing FPL properly if you don't have a breakdown 30 seconds before deadline. Honestly, mate, I feel like I have a breakdown every 30 seconds with FPL, but hey, it's the game we know and love. There's been some rough times recently, I can't lie, but the good times are coming. I can feel it. I can feel the good times coming already. Okay, so we think it's Vet's not starting now. Is that right? Ooh. Surely not. I mean, I thought, I did say something earlier that someone's going to drop out. We'll see. I've not got anything come through yet, so but if Verts doesn't start, I would not be totally surprised. Or is Isak and Ekatika start? I don't know. we'll see. XEK starting good as expected. Szoboszlai back in midfield. So who's dropping out? This is the question. Someone's dropping out, right? We kind of spoke about it earlier. We're going to have to wait for leaks. Mark says, where did you get your alternative player picks for other videos on the team selection? Oh, yeah. A whole bunch of places, basically. A whole bunch of different places. It's, yeah, the Premier League image database seems to have pretty low quality images. So I've had to kind of find them elsewhere. That's 2 goals today. Hopefully he's starting then. Salah has cold feet right now, I think. He did get a goal and an assist in the midweek against Atletico Madrid. So I think that should be fine. George B says, just wasn't feeling Dubravka, so went Sanchez between the sticks instead. I got a feeling Caicedo and Chelsea's attacking stacked midfield is going to cause United problems, moving the ball forwards and stifle them. I agree with that generally. I do agree with that generally. But I also want to cheer on Bruno Fernandes and hope for a jammy penalty. So, oh my word, I just realised if Bruno takes a penalty and Sanchez saves it, I'm cooked. I'm done. Oh man, it's happening now, isn't it? I guess we'll find out. Fear. Pure fear. David says Mr. Marinakis is watching you. Where is he? I can't see him anywhere. I can't see him. Bought Gakpo in for Mbermo. I don't know if I would have done that. I don't know if I would have done that. I'm so curious to what the Liverpool team is now. I think things are going to be shaken up. I really do. Glenn says I captain Mateta instead of Salah. I have a feeling he will cook against West Ham, go differential. Maybe. If a player misses the goal completely in a pen, does the goalkeeper get extra points as a save? No. Yeah, it has to. The goalkeeper has to physically save the penalty to get the points. I picture our Pedro as captain. Is this a mistake? I don't think so. He's like, we'll start again, I guess. Maybe. I don't think so, particularly. What's your reason behind holding Watkins still? I have trust now with 4 games. Oh, Villa without a single goal. You see, I told you, chat. I told you earlier. I know some of you are captaining Watkins this week. There are people like William who are, who can't even stand the sight of Watkins in their team, let alone captaining him. It's a good fixture, William. To be fair, like that's all there is to it. Watkins has been dangerous. He has been taking shots. He's still the penalty taker for Aston Villa. There are positives, even though the points haven't been there yet. There are still some positives to be taken, I think. So that's the reason. Julian reckons he's got the team. Is that true though? I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing any confirmed leak lineup. I mean, guys, it's like, what, 7 minutes we have to wait? I think we can manage, right? Not like we can do anything about it anyway. Arsenal clean sheet. Good chance. Good chance of a clean sheet for the mighty arse. Don't see why not. Do you plan to do a wildcard Game Week 6 video? Yeah, I mean, I'm planning on doing a wildcard video today, pretty much. I don't know if it'll actually come out today. It might be tomorrow. But within like at some point this weekend, there will be a wildcard video out because I'm making a wildcard myself. There's a very high chance I wildcard in Game Week 6. So Yeah, I'm deep in it on the research. I already have started with the research of what I kind of want to do with a wild card. We spoke about it a little bit in yesterday's video. Did we hit 238,000 subscribers, by the way, today? I think we might have. I was hoping we would. Yeah, I think we may have. Nice. Nice. Isaac captain, bro. Come on now. People still on Isaac? Can't be, surely. You got to see Isaac, you know, you got to get. I need some vote of confidence in Isaac starting before even thinking about buying him. I don't think I at 10.5 million. He had a price. Isaac had a price rise, by the way. I can't believe it. So many people are buying Isaac. He rose in price before he's even played a minute in the Premier League. That's crazy. And he's probably not going to start today, but we'll find that out, won't we? You're the best in the game, Dan. Here's the green arrows. Thank you very much, HGYYIKJ. What does that stand for, by the way? That must be an abbreviation, right? Captain Verts, today's the day. Fingers crossed. XTK Ezek situation is confusing. For sure, Peril. For sure. Got the team. Got the team. It is Allison, Bradley, Kanate, Virgil, Kirkes, Gravenberg, Soboslai, McAllister, Salah, Gakpo, Ekatike. I'm afraid to the person who said Captain Verts, today is the day. Today is not the day. Rubate Ramen says Isaac is washed. Just kidding. Hey, well, let's give him a chance. But yeah, so far Liverpool, not really done much, but he hasn't had the minutes yet. He'll have them soon. But yeah, okay. So no Florian Wirtz. So it's going to be Soboslai in the 10. So let's just go through the team again. So Allison in goal, Bradley right back, Kanate and Virgil centre backs, Kirkes left back, Gravenberg and McAllister as the holding midfielders, Soboslai in the attacking midfielders, Salah right, Gakpo left, Ekatike up top. No Isaac, no Wirtz, no Frimpong. I think that's the major missing players. So no Wirtz, Isaac or Frimpong. I'll just tweet that out quickly. Wow. I can barely believe it. Well, good job. Those are people who did. I know a lot of people transferred out of Verts. So, you know, maybe a good thing there, right? I know it's too late, but hey, what can I do? Sid Vicious says Salah and Watkins to Semenyo and Haaland before price rise. You could definitely consider it. I mean, let's have a look at the price changes. Let's go on Hub. So ends. Wait, is this up to date? I might need to refresh this. No, it wasn't. So I don't know if there's going to be any price rises yet. So you might be able to wait until tomorrow. Ooh, I'm losing some value here if I hold on to Saar, Murillo, potentially. I want Njai to drop. I wouldn't mind Reinders dropping as well. If some of these players can drop, that would be great for the future. I think I'm going to have to wildcard or make some transfers today. Ollie says, hi, Dan. Am I crazy for thinking of keeping Bruno and Burma on my wildcard in Game Week 6 and then swapping to Palmer in Game Week 8? I don't think it's completely crazy. No, I mean, it's interesting for sure. I don't really like locking, like, you know, predetermining transfers too much. It's nice to have ideas, but to say, okay, basically you are guaranteed to lose a couple of transfers on those particular moves. So for that reason, I'm not totally convinced by that. It's maybe a little crazy, but if you fancy it, that's what you want to do, then I totally understand. Totally understand. I don't think I'll do it personally, but it's not crazy. It's not crazy. It's just a different kind of route. Start and dial Van der Ven. We're a bit late for that, Julian. Vert's 2 goals in the last 10 minutes. Hey, it could happen. It could happen. Can I know the code to join the Sky Sports and TNT FPL? I don't think so. I mean, if you're based in the UK and you have the setting to join broadcaster leagues, you should just go in. But if not, I think everyone has different broadcaster leagues depending on their country. So if you don't have the Sky Sports and TNT, it might be just because you're not in the UK, to be honest. Sid Vicious says, would you sell Watkins or Wood for Haaland? I would sell Wood. I think Wood. But it's easier to sell Haaland, right? Team news confirmed now, by the way, guys. Yeah, so Verts, Isak, Frimpong on the bench. Nice. Well, there you go. That is confirmed now. There's going to be a lot of people who have those players now. What is the ownership on? There's no way of me of checking now, is there? But I do wonder what is the percentage ownership of Verts, Isak. I mean, Isak at a price rounds and Frimpong as well. There's got to be a few people with some of those players. What's your FPL league code, mate? It should be in the video description. It should be in every video description, to be fair. Easier to sell Watkins, yes. Maybe that has to be the way. Isak was bought by so many managers. Yeah, I know. Verts was at 16% last time I checked. Pretty high. I wonder how many people both Isak and Verts. Surely not. Surely not. Anyway, guys, I think we're going to wrap things up because I'm going to go ahead and buy Konate. For my EAFC team, that is. 1 second. Do you want to see my team, by the way? I might as well show you. Just log in real quick. Why is the transition so laggy? That was weird. Yeah, this is what I'm working with right now for my ultimate team. It's not a bad start. I think I've got some pretty strong players here. I haven't got any crazy good players. But I'm enjoying the game so far. We've got some interesting players. We've got a lot of friendly faces. I like building a Premier League team, to be honest. It's just fun for me, really. But yeah, I seem to be winning a lot of games, which is nice. Yeah, it's good fun. Enjoying it. But I do want to buy Konate because he looks like an absolute beast on this game. Do I have Verts? I do not. I do not have Verts. But guys, we're gonna wrap things up because I want to go get a couple of games in before the 12:30s. I want to go get a couple of games in before the 12:30s. What 12:30s? 12:30 singular. Is it better than last year? The FIFA the gameplay is for sure better. The gameplay is for sure better. I'm really enjoying it, to be honest. But aside from that, look, it's a similar game every year, no. But the gameplay's better. The power curve seems to have slowed down a little bit. So people haven't got crazy teams yet. Like this team, my team doesn't look crazy, but it's probably one of the better teams you will see right now. Because yeah, it's fun. People are playing with more gold cards, which is nice. So far so good. Really. So far so good. You should do a challenge where you only buy and play with players from your FPL team. I thought about that, to be fair. Maybe making a video on it, see if it would be interesting or not. But I don't know. I don't know if many people would watch that, to be honest. But guys, we're going to go. How are you able to play before release date? It's on early release right now. So, you know, if you've got early access, if you've paid for early access, you can play it now, I guess. By the way, final captain results, Salah to 63%, other 15%. So a lot of differentials going in this week. Semenyo 13%, Haaland 9%. But that's going to be it from me today, guys. I will catch you on a video within the next like 24, 36 hours. We're going to do a wild card video. My first wild card draft for Gameweek 6 is coming out soon. So hopefully I'll see you guys over there. If not, I'll catch you over on Twitter. Probably mostly just Twitter, to be honest. Good luck. Enjoy the football, and I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.